What's going on, everybody? It's Rod with POW Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ Stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Also home to the best MJ community. Today is Thursday, February 1st, brand new month. And what a day in MJ land. We had MSOS ETF for the first time in history confirming a monthly uptrend and lots of green across the sector, which is great to see. Before we get to it though, make sure to smash the like. It helps support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff. You'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. Also, you can give us a follow over on X, which is formerly Twitter. The handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward, and it's the best way for me to get real-time updates out to the community. So we'll take a look at the MSOS chart. We'll take a look at some of the recent price action and what to expect in terms of price action in the days, weeks, months ahead. I'll do some technical analysis and give my thoughts and opinions. But we are seeing lots of bullish momentum at the moment. Lots of momentum shifting from a brutal bear market that we know lasted multiple years, that we're all ready to say goodbye to and enter a potential new multi-year bull market. One thing that's going to be sort of a kicker and an unknown is how we're going to react when the broader market starts to correct. The S&P 500 is absolutely busting here. We had Meta absolute blowout earnings. They just absolutely crushed their earnings. And then we had Apple and Amazon earnings as well. But SPY was up, sitting at 491 here after hours. And we have a weekly bull flag that's confirmed on the S&P 500. And we're targeting about 521 here on SPY. So once we broke above the high here at 477.55, that confirmed the weekly bull flag. And we are now less than 6% away from that weekly bull flag target. So I think, we could potentially come up, test 500, see a pretty big pullback, come back down around 475, 470, and then see one more final push up is what I would be expecting at this point. And this is going to be tailwinds for the rest of the rest of individual sectors, specifically the MJ sector. But one thing that we're unsure of is how MJ is going to react when the S&P 500 tops out and starts a multi-year bull market, or bear market, after it ends this multi-year bull market. So I think that once crypto starts to top out, I think MJ is going to enter a new multi-year bull market, and it'll more than likely be one of the best performing asset classes. But a question I get a lot is, how is MJ going to react if SPY or the S&P 500 and big tech enters a multi-year bear market? What I think will happen is we'll more than likely, if we drop 5-10% on the S&P 500 in a day, I think MJ will drop significantly, but it will recover a lot quicker. And with all of the catalysts looming, we have rescheduling, possibility of descheduling. I don't think that's the most likely scenario. I think we'll get there, but I think we'll get rescheduling at some point between now and the end of April, before May comes. I think we'll get rescheduled to Schedule 3. We could see safer banking uplisting to the NYSE and the NASDAQ. We could see Germany come online really anytime. They're talking about a vote this month in February, and then potentially go live by April. And then, approved and enacted into law. And then we'll probably start to really see things pick up into the end of the year and really into 2025. And then Florida being on the ballot potentially for 2024. That's looking like it's pretty much a done deal, and then more than likely be enacted into law as well in 2025. And we're heading into an election year, so it's going to be an interesting time in the markets. But I do think that the S&P 500 is more than likely going to be setting a top here over the next few months, and I think that it'll be a sell in May, go away type of phenomenon, where we see the selling start, and then it'll probably ramp up after the elections is what I think will happen. We'll probably see a pretty big correction before the elections, and then a nice rally into the end of the year. And then I think into the end of 2024, after the elections, and the beginning of 2025 is when we're going to see big tech and the S&P 500 enter a multi-year bear market. But right now on MSOS, we are confirming a daily bull flag. We had our low, high, higher, low, and then once we broke the high here at 969, we confirmed the daily bull flag. And if you take the measured move here from the low to the high and move it out to the 0.382 fib, it's saying we're targeting about 1075 here on MSOS ETF. And we also, bulls just barely avoided a daily downtrend here. We had our high, low, lower high, and then we had a potential for a lower low and a daily downtrend to be confirmed, but bulls continued to buy the dip. It was a daily inside bar that broke bullish, actually multiple daily inside bars that broke bullish, and then we confirmed the daily bull flag. And then, like I said, for the first time in ETF history, we have confirmed a monthly uptrend. I've been saying on this channel for a while now that we need to see monthly uptrends. We need to see weekly EMA 12 and 26 bull crosses. If we zoom into the weekly, you can see here we had our weekly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross. That was the first time ever in history that it happened as well. We had the bear cross with the 12 period over the 26. When that happens, that's a bear cross. And then price went from about $37 all the way down to $478. And now we're seeing a bull cross of those weekly moving averages, or sort of those weekly exponential moving averages, and we're seeing a monthly uptrend here where they're low, high, higher low, and higher high. So once we broke 988, that gave us our higher high, and we're now in a monthly uptrend for the first time in history. And like I said, first time in history that we saw a weekly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross, and we had a golden cross with the 50-day moving average crossing up above through the 200-day moving average. And then on the terms of the weekly time frame, we're super bullish. It's hard to find more bullish charts at the moment than MJ, specifically USMJ. We know that USMJ stands to benefit the most with regards to rescheduling and uplisting to the NYSE and the NASDAQ, Florida on the ballot. But all of this is great, but you got to look at the actual volume, right? There was tons of volume today in MSOS ETF, but if you take a look at some individual names like Trulieve, I looked at it the other day, I did a video on it, there was only like $7 million traded. For contrast and for comparison, Tilray had $2.1 billion traded just in one day, just on the NASDAQ, not even factoring in all the other exchanges. So what I think is going to happen is when we get the actual headline out from the DEA, we're going to see everybody and their dogs start to buy LPs because they're the only ones listed on the NASDAQ. A lot of people that are in Europe, I know people that are in Denmark, they can only buy NASDAQ listed names. Think of Tilray, CGC, your Canopy, your High Tide, your SNDLs of the world, right? They can't even buy MSOS ETF. And then a lot of people in the US can't buy US names either on OTC or the Canadian exchanges, so they're going to be limited to MSOS or the Canadian LPs, right? And with the Canadian LPs lagging a little bit here, might be a decent play here on that headline. If a headline were to come out, basically, you could buy any of those names that I just mentioned in terms of Canadian LPs, and you're probably going to see massive upside. I think we could see 20, 30, 50% gains just in one day on that headline coming out, right? But this is great to see. Monthly uptrend confirmed, and we had a lot of names that did so. If we take a look at the Cureleaf chart, you can see that Cureleaf was one of the first to do it. If we bring up CURLF, low, high, higher low, and higher high. Then we had AYR. I actually added AYR to my long-term MJ portfolio this month, or well, last month in January, once we got that extra 7,000 contribution room to my tax-free savings account. And this is one of those scenarios where you just wish you bought more. It's because, like I said, over the last couple of months, just over the last 4 months, it's now up almost 300%. So we had our low, high, higher low, and higher high. Even if you just entered on a break of 187 when we confirmed the monthly uptrend with the higher low and higher high, if you just entered there, you'd now be up 200%, right? So this is why the most important thing for people to realize and to understand is to know what an uptrend is and what a downtrend is. If you knew what a monthly downtrend was, you could have avoided this whole pitfall. And if you knew what a monthly uptrend was, you could have entered on this monthly uptrend confirming on AYR and breaking and see 200% of upside just on that alone. And then we could even see a monthly EMA 12 and 26 bull crosses on a lot of names. CURLF, Cureleaf, very close to seeing its monthly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross, which would be the first time in history. CL, same deal. And this is one of the laggards. So this could be, it's kind of like the OGI scenario of the LPs, where this could be a laggard where we confirm the monthly uptrend next. So you could even enter on a break of 378 if we confirm a monthly uptrend, but keep in mind that because of the fact that it's a laggard, if MSOS and a lot of these other major MSOs start to consolidate and the S&P 500 starts to consolidate, this one might not run as much after confirming a monthly uptrend. It might consolidate a little bit more, go sideways, and then explode to the upside again after that, once we start to see consolidation, a healthy correction in the sector, and then higher highs from there, right? But CL, Cresco Labs, definitely a laggard here that people should keep an eye on. And then GTBIF, so if we bring up, or I'll just bring up GTII, you can see here low, high, higher low, and higher high. And then shortly thereafter, Trulieve confirmed an uptrend, low, high, higher low, and higher high. Monthly uptrend confirmed once we broke 1059. And then because MSOS tracks all of them, right, all of the major US producers, it was a laggard, but just confirmed. So low, high, higher low, and higher high. Like I said, this is great to see. The more names that confirm monthly uptrends, the better. So now we'll want to see the Canadian names confirm monthly uptrends, and then we'll want to see ETFs in Canada confirm monthly uptrends as well. And the retailers, think of your High Tides of the world. If we can have monthly uptrends across the sector, that's only going to be great for each individual name, right? So if you're only invested in one MJ stock, 2 or 3 MJ stocks, only US MJ, it's going to benefit you greatly, even if the Canadian LPs and Canadian MJ confirms monthly uptrends, because as they say, a rising tide lifts all boats, and that's just going to mean that we're more than likely entering this brutal multi-year bear market and starting a new multi-year bull market, right, with some of the biggest catalysts of our lifetime. And this will only ever be rescheduled once. This will only ever be legalized once. And shift your mindset, right? This is, now we're finally starting to see signs that, the burden of proof was on the bulls, and we're now confirming monthly uptrends across the sector. And it's not surprising that USMJ is leading the way because they stand to benefit the most. And that's why ever since January, once I get that extra 7,000 to my TFSA, that's why I've been adding all of that contribution room pretty much to USMJ, right? I added a ton of MSOS ETF. And again, another situation where you wish you could have bought more, but I'm pretty comfortable with the amount that I own at the moment. And yeah, we'll probably add again at some point some of the individual US names. But if you're somebody who's wondering, maybe you don't have enough shares, maybe you're wondering when you could look to add, you're probably asking, like, when would be a good time to add MSOS ETF? Well, obviously not financial advice. I'll never tell you to buy, sell, or hold. This is not financial advice. You should do your own research and never buy or sell anything based on anything that I say or anything that I write. But if you're looking to add long term, you could wait for daily oversold conditions, which would be a while away, but that would bring us down to around 30 or below on the RSI. Or if you're really patient, you'll wait for a weekly higher low, maybe drop down to around $7 or $8 and add there on a weekly higher low, right? We are touching weekly overbought here as well, so we have to be a little bit cautious here. But like I said, we do have that daily bull flag on deck at the moment that is targeting 1075, and the S&P 500 very bullish here after hours on mega tech earnings as well. So like I said, everything's looking great. We have a weekly bull flag targeting 521 on the S&P 500, but just keep in mind that if we do pull back from here to $8, $7, it's just going to be healthy. And that'll just be another buying opportunity for a weekly higher low to form. We have no weekly support on MSOS all the way down to 599, but we are looking extremely good here at the moment. We're above all of the weekly moving averages. We're above all of the daily moving averages. So like I said, I would expect a move up to around that 1075 before a pretty sizable pullback and a weekly higher low to form, which will just be healthy as we come off weekly overbought. But congrats to the bulls. It's been an exciting start to the year. And as I've been saying for a while now, I think that 2024 is a year we have all the catalysts that we could ever want or need. And it's only going to get bigger from here, right? This is still the first inning, and I'm so excited to see what the rest of the year has in store. So going to end it there, it's Rod with Pal Group. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth. If this video was helpful, please smash the like. I would appreciate it very much. Love each and every one of you who supported me along the way. And yeah, can't wait to see what the rest of the year has in store. All right, have a great night. We'll see you again on the next video.